I see the moon, I see the moon, I see the moon. Oh, when you're looking at the sun. I'm not a fool, not a fool, not a fool. No, you wanna fool in anyone. Oh, but when you're gone, when you're gone, when you're gone, oh, baby, all the lights go out. And I'm thinking, oh, the baby, I was wrong, I was wrong, I was wrong. Come back to me, baby, we can work this out. And no, baby, come on, let me get to know you.
Hello and welcome back to another video with myself, Meg, and joined by Tom yet again from Universal Audio. Great to have you back.
Thanks for having us.
We are going to be looking at how to record a vocal today, looking at like how to make a vocal chain, and obviously using the amazing Universal Audio products as well. So if you want to explain what we're going to do?
Yeah, cool. So we did this kind of before with the track we made with Pete where you sang. But today we wanted to look at kind of how you'd use either the Arrow interface or the Apollo interface range to set up a recording chain if you're recording yourself like you do quite a lot as a singer-songwriter. So I guess, I mean, the question for you to start off would be, what happens? You record into GarageBand, you want to put a song idea down, what do? You get a mic and go for it.
Plug a mic in, I'll do it. I'll maybe put like a tiny bit of reverb on just so I don't feel completely exposed. But then as soon as I'm happy with a take, I'll then start all my, do I want to add this effect on? Do I want to add a bit of echo? Do I want to add and it, I then find my sound once I've done my recording. Right,
so you kind of start mixing or producing kind of as you're recording, but after each take. So you're kind of building, which is a pretty common workflow. And the thing I suppose I wanted to mention today, it's not just about we have all this cool processing technology where you can have the U82 processing either in your DAW or up front in what we call the console. But it's sometimes you've got to get going, right? And it's how do you get going, and how can we help a singer like yourself get a better sound at home? And one of the things I always see mentioned, or I see people do, is because sometimes the first take is the one, right? I mean, how many times has that happened to you where you bang it out and the first one has got the vibe?
A few times. Yeah, it does happen.
Yeah, so sometimes being the sound engineer in me is kind of like, well, can you just give me like 2 minutes while I EQ this and notch a little bit of resonance there and get this tweaked and stuff, which can be a bit deflecting from the kind of golden moment.
Being in that vibe and that moment. Yeah,
so like sometimes, I mean, a great engineer will basically get this done before you come into the session so that when you get onto that mic, the singer just goes, I feel like a star, and the first take is potentially the take. So you can do that, and the cool thing with our system is being able to save stuff. So once you've found a sound you like for yourself at home, the next time you come back, you just go File, Open, create a console setting template, which can be synchronized with your Logic project, for example. And then Logic will actually just let you recall that when you go to the same song 3 months later. It'll bring everything back with this thing we call the console recall plugin. But when you're recording yourself, it's kind of hard to get all that prepped first. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally.
So one of the cool tips I was going to share today, I think, is it's almost like an offline sound check, we'd call it, which is getting quite common with bands live, where you would kind of record a rough run through at rehearsal, and then the band can go off and chill on the tour bus, or in this case, you could go and chill in the lounge, get some coffee, get warmed up, whatever you want to do. Exactly, and the engineer gets time to sort of mess with the playback, settings. So what we'll do is we'll record a vocal into the Apollo Twin today, but you could do this with the Arrow, which we did the last video with, where we looked at Arrow, the Thunderbolt 3 bus-powered interface. With the Twin, we're using the Thunderbolt 2 connection, and this is all powered with a couple of mic inputs. So we've got an SM7 hooked up for you today to sing through, which is kind of a low output mic, so it uses quite a lot of gain. We've got to crank that to get some juice. But that might be all you have time for, right? Just some gain and let's record. And you mentioned already that might make you feel a bit naked, a bit sort of exposed as a singer. But the cool thing is, if you just record one take like that, because the Apollo sounds so good, you're already good. If you want to put EQ and compression on later, you can, and that will work like the way you do normally. But if you give yourself that one little take, just warming up, and we'll basically then use it as an offline sound check to dial in a vocal chain. And then we can copy and paste back from Logic to console with this neat little feature that I think sometimes gets missed with our plugins, which allows you to sort of port the settings so that then you'll have this vocal chain up front, which makes you feel great, and you'll kind of just will tweak that.
Yeah.
And the sort of second reason for it actually is, you probably noticed this already, when you're singing on the mic and you're trying to engineer yourself, you'll hear your own voice through the bones in your head quicker than the mic will get it to the computer.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for you to know where to EQ and how to set a compressor, because you're kind of like, what's this resonance that's just in my head, you know? Which is why it's nice for a sound engineer to do it for you. But if you don't have an engineer, like most people these days record themselves, we'll look at...
This is really helpful.
Yeah, a cool workflow. So basically, you've got we've got a backing track in Logic.
We have.
And you've got a vocal channel set up here with taken from input 1 here, mic 1, you'll see it there, from the Apollo Twin. So over on the preamp side, we've just got some level from your SM7 with stacks of gain on it. And that's coming in here. It's probably worth mentioning that we're not using software monitoring. Do you know what that is?
I wouldn't have a clue, I'm sorry.
Okay, so like...
Explain to me.
This little tick box in Logic here, which is unticked, says software monitoring.
Yeah.
What normally happens is that you're going to get the signal you're recording going into Logic, through the computer, and then back out so you can hear it.
Right, okay.
And that has an extra delay because you've got the latency of the system, or what we call the buffer size. So what we're doing is disabling that in Logic. So you're not going to listen to anything going to and from the DAW.
Okay.
What you're hearing is coming into the Apollo through our mixer and straight to your headphones, so it's the fastest signal path possible.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So it's basically near zero latency without having to worry about monitoring through Logic. So that's it. So you've got level on headphones. What we've done is effectively sent the backing track in to a virtual track on the Apollo console here.
Yeah.
And you're monitoring just the main mix right now. So it's not even a set headphone mix setup. You've just got the same mix. And your vocals alongside, and you've got no reverb. This is basically bone dry. So it might be the take, but you're not going to feel...
I'm not going to feel like it's the take.
Superstar, potentially.
So we're going to do a bit of... we said we'd do like a modern song, didn't we? So we're going to do a bit of Dua Lipa, Be The One. So you may or may not know it. But we're going to go for that dry take now, aren't we? And then we'll see where we go from there.
I see the moon, I see the moon, I see the moon. Oh, when you're looking at the sun. I'm not a fool, I'm not a fool, not a fool. No, you are not fooling anyone. Oh, but when you're gone, when you're gone, when you're gone, oh, baby, all the lights go out. I'm thinking of the baby, I was wrong, I was wrong, I was wrong. Come back to me, baby, we can work this out. And oh, baby, come and let me get to know you. Just another chance so that I can show that I won't let you down and run. No, I won't let you down and run, 'cause I can be the one. I can be the one.
There we go.
Cool. Excellent.
Oh.
Feel good?
Yeah, but it is that feeling of like, oh my goodness, it's just my voice on its own.
Yeah. Feeling a bit bare bones.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and it feels like harder to sing as well.
Oh really?
I think because you don't...
You're not leaning, nothing's leaning back against you.
Sometimes you have the support of like a good reverb or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, I've got a friend who described this to me once as like leaning against a wall, and when there's nothing coming back at you, you kind of just fall into this black hole.
And you feel flat.
Yeah. You fall flat basically. But if there's something pushing back at you, you kind of meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's where the magic sort of balancing act is. And that could be a compressor, or it could be reverb, or it could be all those things combined. So we've got that recorded in. Interestingly, just listening to you in the room, there's a couple of like words sort of around like here, I think, where there's a bit of essiness as well.
Yeah, I noticed it myself.
Did you?
Again, like when you're kind of exposed, I was like, ooh, wondering how they'll pick up. But yeah, I noticed them too. I think it was just before the chorus.
Yeah, so just coming out of the bridge, there's like two words. I think there's a word just, and you hit the S and the T of that. But the cool thing is with the processing we have available, we can look at de-essing. So I know we talked about this earlier, so that means taking the S's out of the word, so all this sort of stuff. And it will happen on, you know, so many, like generally like either the start of a word or often the end of a word in the English language at least. Sometimes the middle, but you'll find it generally at the beginning or the end. And so it's kind of cool to like think about being able to deal with this stuff up front. Some singers it doesn't really happen. Sometimes you get someone with a big gap between the front teeth and it's just like game over, like there's just S's everywhere. I have a friend like this and I talk to her all the time and I wish I could de-S her in face to face, like in conversation over a coffee. Like, I wish I could just de-S you. But you know, it can be mic technique sometimes, just twisting away when you know it's coming, that kind of thing. But what we'll look at, I reckon, is we've got a plugin called the Manley Voxbox, which was designed in conjunction with Manley Labs. And what they've done with this, you'll notice it's got this big VB in the front of the graphics and stuff. Yeah. It's designed to be like the ultimate vocal channel strip for a lot of pop and soul vocals, that kind of thing. So it's a tube mic pre where we get all this harmonic coloration. Yeah. Then you've got a compressor built in so we can get a bit of push, like put the brick wall up basically for you to lean against. There's a de-esser so we can look at chipping away where your sibilant sits and just pulling that down. And it's got a really interesting EQ, which is based off of Pultec, which we talked about last time we were in, which is like a 50s tube EQ. It's based off the MEQ5, which is like all centered on the mid-range. And when you look at the frequencies, you get stuff like 3, 500, 700. And that's kind of the stuff that you get in a non-ideal vocal booth. So if you record at home, you probably notice this yourself. You'll hear a load of that sort of like boxy, that the room kind of taking over a bit of your vocal. So we can find that, notch it away in a really smooth manner, but also open up some very pretty air, which would be nice on the SM7. But often you kind of, because you scoop where the boxiness is, it's nice to put a bit of 150, 200 back in on a female vocal to give it that sort of proximity, that density. So it's kind of set up to just do that perfectly. So we can do it on what we've recorded, set it up, but then we'll transfer it to your actual vocal chain so you can perform against it. Okay, so we'll turn this on, and so we can play the vocal now. I'll just make sure your mic is muted so we don't get any feedback, and we'll bring it up on these speakers behind us. Here we go. Just drop the track a bit.
I'm not a fool, I'm not a fool.
I think we were 12 dB on the other mix. So we can get some, we'll leave it on line input for now.
Oh, but when you're gone,
so with this gain control, the interesting thing here is that this is effectively like a tone control that changes the harmonics of the thing. So
I was wrong. Come back to me, baby, we can work this out.
Just get some juice in here.
Hello, baby, come and let me get to know you. Just another chance so that I can show that I won't let you down.
I'll just solo the vocal for now.
I won't let you down. Hello, baby, come and let me get to know you.
So that's without the tube harmonics, right?
So that I could show that I won't let you down.
Yeah, it lifts it, doesn't it?
I won't let you down.
Exactly.
'Cause I can be the one.
We might also put the little filter in here at the bottom end just to sort of roll off some of this, maybe 80, just tighten up the low end where the chestiness is going to be on the mic. Okay, so there's a nice sort of tone just happening there already. But then we can bring in this compressor, so with no compression we get what we've got now.
Hello, baby, come and let me get to know you. Just another chance so that I could show that I won't let you down and run. No, I won't let you
down. So you've got the capability to really pin everything you're doing.
Yeah.
And I kind of like to explain to people that if you push it in pretty hard, you can set the timing to get it to be musically in time with the groove of what you're doing. So we'll basically slow off the attack. You should hear when it's fast,
where it slows it down.
there's no front of the word. There's not, you're sort of trapped in a box, right? So if it's slowest, it lets the front of the word come through a bit more. But the interesting thing with the Voxbox is the attack and release are actually linked or interactive to some degree. So if you change the release, it will change the attack.
Right.
So it's kind of, you have to basically use your ears. There's no like science to this. So you get that, and all the like airiness comes up on the end of that one. But there's that little S-y thing that's happening in the vocal too. So we're going to use the de-esser here. So we can set 9K on the de-esser here on the Voxbox.
And oh, baby, come and let me get to know you. Just another chance so that I could show that I won't let you down and run.
So we could probably squash the life out of it.
To know you. Just another chance so that I could show that I won't let you down and run. No, I won't let you down.
So if you can hear it, it's like a pillow goes over the vocal when you crank it loads. Say there's this mid-range stuff.
Another chance so that I could show that I won't let you down and run. No, I won't let you down.
And you can find where the room is sort of sat. Maybe we can open up the top tiny bit up here as well.
And oh, baby, come and let me get to know you. Just another chance so that I could show that I won't let you down and run.
That's nice, which is like 12K looking at it.
'Cause I can be the one.
And then maybe we'll put a little warmth in the low end back.
And oh, baby, come and let me get to know you. Just another chance so that I could show that I won't let you down and run. No, I won't let you down and run, 'cause I can be the one.
Sometimes that 500-600 range is really interesting on a vocal because that's where you get that sort of honkiness that you don't really want in there. So that's a dip, so it's just going to pull that away, you know, just cut it out.
I mean, for me, I have never been taught, like, the science or the whatever you want to call it, what exactly you're doing, or when we're talking about, you know, mid-ranges and things like this. But, I mean, you can have a good fiddle, can't you? It's whatever your ear likes at the end of the day, isn't it? It's not about like, oh, but you did it at this and you did it at that. If it sounds good, it sounds good.
Totally,
so,
and that's the thing, they come up generally sounding pretty good as is when you load the plug in. But when you start just tweaking the gain and you'll get some harmonic stuff, compression is just a feel thing, so you just turn it on and go, well, where's too much, where's not enough. De-essing's probably a little bit more technical because you want to make sure you target the S the right way, you know, get to the right frequency. So that's why I showed you just quickly how you might find it.
Just to, you know, you can see it there, it shows it up for you, doesn't it? So
you see it in the analyzer and you go, right, I need that, and then you've got a bunch of frequencies. So you'll generally find, like as a rule, sort of the 6K range might often exist on a male vocal.
Right.
Female vocals might sit more like 8, 9, 10. Okay. But then sometimes you'll get 2, which is really kind of crazy depending on the type of mic and the person singing, where you might get a 5, 6 and also like a 10 or 11 sort of happening. So you need to kind of nibble both of them.
Yeah.
So you might even put 2 of these in a row and just DS twice. It's not uncommon to do that. If we sort of play that vocal and just turn everything off, this is what the flat vocal was.
And oh, baby, come and let me get to know you. Just another chance so that I could show that I won't let you down.
Gosh. No, when you're working through it, you don't realise how much it's making a difference.
That's going to make you sing more effortlessly.
Yeah.
And you've got something to lean against now.
Yeah.
So there's all that life coming in there, but we've also dealt with that slightly nasal honkiness thing that happens with the SM7 when you're close. We've kind of tightened up the low end, and the transformer in there, I think, sort of making you like packaged in a way that's like a lead vocal instead of being a bit more laid back.
I think a lot of people forget that you have to. It's the placement of the sound as well within a track, isn't it? You want the BBs to sit further back. You want, you know.
Exactly, yeah, and you can do it sometimes just with like the flick of a switch. Will just give you the same sound, but enough of a differentiation where you need it.
So all that tweaking that we did on the Manley then, you were mentioning earlier that you can save them.
Yeah.
So how do we then go from putting all that work in of tweaking it to then making sure that I can access that next time?
So you've got loads of ways. So in Logic, it will be saved in this session as a plugin on that track, and you can copy and paste, and you can do things like save the presets from Logic here.
So
that's a Logic preset.
Yeah, I see. Sorry.
But the cool thing here is we can go copy, right? Copy settings, jump to the console, which is where we're recording through, and I can paste that here. So this little menu that's like a folder icon at the bottom, that's going to pop all of our settings in there. And the only thing we'll need to adjust now is the mic gain, because obviously we were using it on line mode for the plugin. So now you basically can record through the vocal chain that we're setting up here.
It's clever.
Which is super cool. So the only other thing we could look at would be some reverb to make you feel comfortable.
Okay.
So I set it up here with this plate reverb, pure plate, which is, I don't know if you know much about old reverbs, but it's like a big old plate of steel that they used to just shake basically or vibrate. And your vocal would create a kind of really fast, dense reverb in the steel plate, and it like picks it up. It's like guitar pickups attached to a big steel plate.
Yeah.
So you can actually see here when we change the reverb time, it's actually changing a damper that's like hanging over the steel plates. It's like retro.
No, I won't let you down and run, 'cause I can be the one.
So you see there's just this massive depth already.
Yeah.
And no, baby, come on, let me get to know
I'll just cut some low end in the reverb.
I could show that I won't let you down and run. No, I won't let you down and run. 'Cause I can be the one.
I quite like that. It's sort of it's like airy, not too bassy in the reverb.
No, I hate it when people put way too much on that you feel like you're singing down a well. And it's just, no.
Let's remind ourselves with no reverb and no Manley.
It sounds so bad.
Okay, so we've done, like, that's kind of how we're going to fake it up.
Bloody hell, I can't believe how, like, it is mad, isn't it, how much it's changed?
Exactly, and you know, we're by explaining it and stuff, it's taking time, but if you were just messing with this yourself, you'd be done in like 2-3 minutes of setting the sound up, and you're going to feel far more inspired, really. So we'll paste the reverb settings in here into the console, so we've got the same settings. So we're going to record to this version of the track over here, but we'll record the reverb this time as well.
Okay.
So we should have everything set up to record the Manley preamp and also the pure play reverb. Okay, so we've kind of copied the settings over into console. Yeah. We've changed the gain, so we've had to crank the gain a lot more because the unison's now matching the hardware. Yeah. So it wasn't just like a plug-in. But other than that, we're sort of pulling about the same amount of compression. You've got all the EQ set, the de-esser and everything that we had before, and you've got the plate reverb there just to give you some comfort. So that's all just been transported over, and like I mentioned earlier about saving it, you can just pop down here in the bottom right hand corner and save a session. So this could be like Meg ballad vocal sound, and every day you can just load this back up, and every time you record you'll get that finished sort of vocal sound going straight in. Exactly. So we'll, you know, with the monitors muted again so we don't get any feedback in the room, you're on headphones, you've got the vocal against the track, and we'll do a record with everything in.
I'm interested to do this.
Okie doke, here we go.
I see the moon, I see the moon, I see the moon. Oh, when you're looking at the sun. I'm not a fool, not a fool, not a fool. No, you aren't fooling anyone. Oh, but when you're gone, when you're gone, when you're gone, oh, baby, all the lights go out. And I'm thinking, oh, that baby, I was wrong, I was wrong, I was wrong. Come back to me, baby, we can work this out. And no, baby, come on, let me get to know you. Just another chance so that I can show that I won't let you down and run. No, I won't let you down and run, 'cause I could be the one. I could be the one.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Does it make a big difference?
Such a difference. And I tell you the bit when I was like, oh my word, this is made, is the first bit kind of where I'm it's a bit speaky. I see the moon, I see the moon. I was like, yeah, it's good, but... And then when I came with, oh, but when you're gone, I was like, whoo. Right. Like, it just felt like I just could hear myself really well. I didn't feel like I had to like give loads of effort. And at the same time, it didn't feel like me. We were talking about this, and saying how for a singer, when you go into like a, like in a session with a producer, if they've got a good setup for you and they've got your sound right, it propels you into a thing of like, oh my gosh, I sound like a pop star. And you end up going for like riffs and notes, and not even about the notes. If you're not a very confident singer, even just as you say, that wall there that's been perfectly made for you, it takes your confidence from like here to here. And like I tried to not show it in my face, but when I like was doing that pre-chorus bit, I was like, ooh, like it was honestly, yeah.
You can see it in your dynamics, and I mean the cool thing here is that you may even have a friend who's more like engineering, so like they could design the wall for you, and then just send you the settings, and you just copy paste it into the console. So like in band situations where like inevitably like one of the members of the band, like the drummer or the guitar player or the singer or somebody, is just like completely geeky on production, and they'll be like doing it. You know, it's not uncommon. We see a lot of people in bands now that have like an Arrow and an Apollo and a rack Apollo, and the drummer has the rack Apollo to do 8 inputs for drums. The guitarist is doing guitar amps through the Twin, for example, and the singer has an Arrow and just takes it on the road to do vocals. You know, we see that loads, and the cool thing is you can just share settings. You know, copy them from Logic, get them. You could send a raw vocal, have somebody mix it, ask your guy who mixed it to send you the settings. So that copy it in, and then every time you record through that chain, right?
That's so clever.
It's just a really neat system. So I wanted to show it because I think the copy and paste functionality, it gives you the ability to like do a test vocal, get it set, and then forget about the sort of science of it, the engineering, and be the vocalist and just be like, ta-da! Ta-da! Yeah. And you can see it here, like if you look at even the waveforms, the way that the compression and the de-essing is controlling everything.
It looks completely different.
And that means you're singing harder here as well. So where you were like backing yourself off a bit at the end of phrases because you're like, where's the wall? Yeah. It's just like there for you to push against really hard.
And give it some,
So if we play for the people now outside, we'll give them a sort of, you know, people watching I should say, although we have hordes of people outside the door waiting to come in. But I'll play you the before and the after basically. So this is the before.
I see the moon, I see the moon. Oh, when you're looking at the sun. I'm not a fool, I'm not a fool, not a fool.
I suppose we could be fair and put the reverb on for you as well on there.
Yeah, I think we'll still hear a massive difference.
Oh, but when you're gone, when you're gone, when you're gone, oh baby, all the lights go out.
If we gave it some reverb, it makes a difference.
Thinking of the baby, I was wrong, I was wrong, I was wrong. Come back to me, baby, we can work this out.
Still feels quite empty though, doesn't it?
As a performance,
yeah.
You're sort of going through the motions a bit. Then we check out the new one.
The suspense.
It isn't it?
I see the moon, I see the moon, I see the moon. Oh, when you're looking at the sun. I'm not a fool, not a fool, not a fool. No, you wanna fool in anyone.
You have to try hard for those notes.
I know, so much better.
Oh, but when you're gone, when you're gone, when you're gone, oh baby, all the lights go out. And I'm thinking, oh the baby, I was wrong, I was wrong, I was wrong.
Just remind
Come back to me. I'm thinking, oh the baby, I was wrong, I was wrong.
You're not even holding pitch as well. You notice?
I know. Because you feel so out there.
You're holding pitch way harder.
Plus, I feel like that second take, I've got quite a raspy tone, and it brought it out more because I wasn't afraid to go for those notes. And then, you know, that added tone came out as well.
All the harmonics of the Voxbox.
I could be the one.
I could be the one.
I could be the one.
Oh gosh, just 1,000 times better.
You perform the flicks into the reverb as well, so it's a massive difference. And we talked about this before, but that's the benefit of Arrow or the Apollo, and you could do this on either you know, system, that you track through it, perform through it. But the cool thing is today you can offline sound check yourself and then just copy it over, and you save yourself the whole game of like trying to sing and laptop at the same time. And you know, even if you don't know technically how to engineer, just get it so you love it, and then get it in the front end.
Roll with it. So, I've certainly learned a lot, and I'm sure you guys have. Hopefully it's a bit of an insight into exactly how this, you know, these amazing interfaces and software kind of works. If you are interested in anything that we've spoken about, any of the Universal Audio gear, you'll find links to it in the description box, and you can obviously find it in store and on the Andertons website. Please do stay tuned for more videos from this channel. Make sure you like it, share, subscribe, and yeah. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the Andertons YouTube Music Technology channel. If you're a guitar player or you play bass or a drummer or you're into keyboards, you might like one of our other YouTube channels, and I'll put links to those in the description below. Anyway, if you'd like to find out more about the products we featured in this video, please click up here. If you'd like to watch another video from this channel, please click here. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt like the one I'm wearing, click down here. And lastly, if you'd like to subscribe to our Music Tech YouTube channel, please click down here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.